This is the story of the first Christmas, the night Jesus Christ was born. We celebrate this to remember the hope and joy that this tiny baby brought to the world on that amazing night in Bethlehem 2,000 years ago. For Jesus' birth did bring hope and joy to the world. Hope because at the time there was much wrongdoing and fighting on the earth, and the people were looking for a sign from God that He would always be there to look after them. And joy because after many years of waiting, God has finally fulfilled His promise to send a man, a Savior, or Messiah, to earth to go among the people and teach everybody His peaceful and loving ways. That man would be God's greatest gift to mankind, His Son, Jesus Christ. To prepare the world for this man, God asked different men and women to prophesy or foretell that Jesus was coming. These people were called prophets. This is what they said.
Behold, a virgin will have a son, and his name will mean God is with us. Out of Bethlehem one will go forth to be the King of Israel. For unto us a child will be born, unto us a son shall be given, and his name shall be called Wonderful, the Prince of Peace, and there will be no end to his kingdom.
Now, when God was ready to give Jesus to the world, He chose a good and pure woman named Mary to be His mother. Mary lived in a little village of Nazareth and was engaged to be married to Joseph, a humble carpenter who lived nearby. One day, when Mary was alone, God sent His messenger, the angel Gabriel, to appear before her. Hail Mary, the Lord is with you, blessed you are among women. Mary was at first frightened and confused by the spirit of the angel of God. But then Gabriel told her that God had chosen her to give birth to Jesus. Fear not, Mary, for you are special in God's eyes. He has chosen you to bring forth the Son, and you shall call Him Jesus. He will be called the Son of God, and His kingdom will have no end. Mary now understood everything she had been told, and it filled her with great joy and happiness. She replied to Gabriel, saying,
I will happily carry out God's will.
Not long after he had spoken to Mary, the angel Gabriel appeared to Joseph one night as he slept in Joseph's dream. The angel of the Lord told him of God's plan. Joseph, God has chosen you to be the father of His Son Jesus, and Mary will be His mother. When Joseph awoke, he went to Mary with joy in his heart. Both Mary and Joseph had heard that God's Son would soon be coming, and they were overjoyed to be chosen by God to be His parents. And so Mary and Joseph went back to living their quiet lives, keeping God's secret only between themselves. Now at that time, the land they lived in was ruled by the Romans, who were mighty but wicked, rulers of an enormous empire. The chief ruler, a man named Caesar Augustus, was mean and greedy. He wanted to tax everyone in the land to raise money for himself and the Romans. So he issued a decree that every man to return to the place of his birth so they could be taxed. And so Joseph and Mary left Nazareth to return to the small village of Bethlehem, about 90 miles away, where Joseph had been born. It was a difficult journey across the hot land, but after many long days and nights, they had finally reached Bethlehem. By then, Mary was very tired and about to give birth. When they arrived, the city was already very crowded with other people who had come back to be registered, and all the inns were full. But Joseph sought shelter at several inns anyway, in the hope that someone might spare him for Mary. traveled a long way. My wife is very tired. Is there anywhere to stay in your inn?
No, Santa, we have nowhere to stay beyond your lake.
And so it went at every inn. Is there any room in your inn?
I'm sorry, we don't have any room.
But one innkeeper looked at me and said, "Is there any room in your inn?"
No room.
Is there any room in your inn?
I'm sorry, we don't have any room left in our inn. But if you want, you can stay in our barn.
Thank you very much for your kindness, sir. The stable was for animals, for donkeys, cows, and sheep that people had brought with them. But Mary and Joseph were grateful for any shelter they could get at that night. The little town of Bethlehem, please sing, O little town of Bethlehem. That night, Mary had her baby. Jesus was born. Hallelujah. The Lord Jesus Christ, the King of Kings, the everlasting Prince of Peace, was born to a simple carpenter and his wife. And to make the baby Jesus comfortable, Mary wrapped him in swaddling clean strips of white cloth and laid him down gently in the soft hay in the manger, the animals' feed box.
Can we have all children now?
That same night, there were shepherds watching their flocks of sheep on the steep hills surrounding Bethlehem. The shepherds were poor men who wore rough, simple clothing. For them, nights were usually dark, cold, and lonely. But the night that Jesus was born, the angel Gabriel suddenly appeared above them in the sky. The shepherds had never seen an angel, and they were frightened. But the angel of God soon comforted them, saying, "Fear not, good shepherds, for I have wonderful news. Today in the city of Bethlehem a child was born. This child shall grow up to be our king, not just any king, but the King of all kings, the world's Savior." Please tell us where we can find him. You shall find him, the babe, wrapped in a swaddling clothes and lying in a manger.
He
a whole host of myriad the heavenly angels appeared in the sky, and they announced the news of the baby Jesus. Glory to the newborn King, they said. He will bring peace and goodwill to all people. When the angels had departed, the shepherds decided that they should go see the baby Jesus right away.
1, go to the Bethlehem.
Let us see this child that God has told us about.
The shepherds were the first to see and worship the baby Jesus. They searched their pockets for some gift they could give him.
What do I give him? This king, I'm just a poor shepherd. If we only had riches to honor him by, friends, we can offer him with our faith.
Faith and trust in Jesus were all that mattered to God, and for the shepherds, just seeing Jesus filled them with hope for all people. They wanted to tell the whole world about this tiny king. Let's sing Go Tell It on the Mountain together. The children will sing each chorus, and you all will sing the verses. Meanwhile, in a land far to the east of Bethlehem, wise men of great knowledge noticed an unusually bright star in the sky.
That star is amazing. It's so bright. Maybe the Savior has come. The prophets wrote about him a long time ago.
The wise men, or Magi, As they are known, journeyed for several weeks, faithfully following the star shining bright in the sky until it stood over the little stable in Bethlehem, where the holy infant lay. Join in singing, We Are Three Kings. When they saw the baby Jesus, the three wise men fell on their knees in humble worship. They lay at the feet of baby Jesus the valuable treasures they had brought, with which honored him. The first king gave him gold. The second king gave him sweet-smelling frankincense. And the third king gave him perfume like myrrh. For they knew they had at last found their Savior, God's Son. It filled them with great joy. Let's all stand and sing joy to the
Joy to the world. Joy to the world. Joy to the world. The Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart joy.
You may be seated.
And that is the story of the first Christmas.
Thank you for being with us in God's presence this morning as we celebrated the birth of Christ. Thank you to all of our participants, the angels and the shepherds and the wise men and Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus, all of them, and Carol for all of her good work. Thank you to the parents for bringing your children to celebrate with us. And now, the young people have a special message for you.
We wish you